How you doing, everybody? It's me, Josh, from the PI Workshop. I just got back from the Woodworking Show in Atlanta, Georgia this past weekend, and it was awesome. Got to meet up with a lot of really cool people that you talk to over the internet, and it's awesome to finally put a face and a real, actual voice to the name. But besides meeting a bunch of cool people, I got to take some classes that were phenomenal. The CNC over here, yeah, is about to get put into overhaul or overdrive because I learned a lot of CNC from Laney Shaughnessy.
To understand that you may need more vacuum than some.
It was amazing. They had a large selection of wood and tools and support pieces. So like I've redone the dust collection in the whole shop. It's amazing. Maybe I'll do a shop tour one of these days. But right now I got this salt and pepper mill blank. There's walnut and it is beautiful. And I thought rather than making a pepper mill, because I don't have a lathe, I can make a desk nameplate. So we're gonna try something different. And we're gonna use the CNC and all the other tools. So everybody's in the pool. Come along, let's find out. Okay, so here's our blank. I'm gonna take this and we cut it at a 35-degree bevel on the table saw. Now I'm gonna clean up all these burn marks because I probably shouldn't have taken this big piece of walnut through in as few passes I did. It probably should have been a little more gradual. But one way or the other, what I wanna do now is I wanna take this over to the CNC and I wanna carve in the person's name and some images or whatever. But to do that, it needs to be perfectly flat, so that the bit can carve straight down into it. So to do that, we're actually just going to use these offshoot pieces that we cut because these are complementary angles. So when you set this down, that piece, and then I just cut this in half and flipped it around. So when you put those two together, the angles will match back up to 90 degrees all together. So now this piece is flat on the top. So what I'll do is I'll probably hot glue the blank down to the two offcuts and then secure the cuts to the wasteboard on the CNC so that it will cut our lettering or image or whatever we want right there on the top. So if you're going to do a bevel, keep that offshoot or keep the offcut and use it to help you as a brace and support material. Let's do it. All right, so for this project, we're going to use Easel, which is the software that comes with the x-carve, free from Inventables. It does have its drawbacks. I just recently acquired a copy of Aspire, which is an amazingly over-talented milling software used for 3D carving, for very advanced things that Easel can't do. But it's free and it's pretty intuitive. It's pretty easy to use. So this is just a nameplate, so it's pretty simple. So we just need some text. I took this Harley-Davidson image that I found off of Google Images. I used the import image trace option and it traced it into an SVG file pretty easily with really no issues. Chose our material as walnut. Used the super tiny engraving bit to get into these little nooks and the sharp edges at 0.005 inches. Resized our material. Show the tool path and examine it just to make sure that there's no gaps, that nothing is being missed. Sometimes if you have a big bit, it won't carve part of your image and you need to run a tool path before you choose all your carve options so you can see that beforehand. So hopefully this thing will finish up. Make sure that our image is going to look good. And you can hide the material up here so you can see what it's going to look like. There we go. So I'm happy with that. You come up here to the top corner, carve, confirm your material thickness. So we had the big slabs. I put that it's 1/2 inch. I mean, ours is definitely thicker than that, but I'm only going to go down like 6/100ths of an inch, so that doesn't really matter. It is secure because remember we took the two offshoot pieces, we secured it to the wasteboard, and then we secured our piece to those offshoot pieces with the hot glue. Choose your bit, we're doing 0.005. I will move this manually to 0. I'm not going to use the home position because I have the micro switches or the limit switches on my machine, but we want the 0 to be the bottom left hand corner of the face of that nameplate, not of my entire machine. So now I'll go set it up. We'll use the directional arrows over here to move the gantry back and forth, or you can use the options on your keyboard, which I prefer. The step interval is at 0.01 inch. I like to put that down to like 0.02 or 0.03 once you get kind of close to that corner, so you can really hone in where it needs to go. Because sometimes a 1/10 of an inch, it kind of makes big gaps and big leaps that you need to make little fine adjustments, and you just add a 0 in there. And then you click off of it because sometimes it won't work. So you click off of it, and then you can move with the arrow keys on your keyboard or these arrow keys here to really get right into that corner. So we'll confirm the home position. We'll raise the bit. And because I have the DeWalt 611, you have to manually turn it on at the router. And you click spindles on, hit carve. And barring any complications from my shop computer, which seem to be pretty rampant, it should go cut. And then we'll see what it looks like afterward. Alright, so the support material pieces worked like a champ. The complementary angles worked really well, made a nice flat surface, and the bit carved, and it looks really, really good. So I've taken a heat gun to this already, and I've heated up the areas from the hot glue contact, and so it pops right out. And that, move this back. Looks really good. So we're going to sand it down, oil it up, and we'll be done. So Bob and I are going to Atlanta, and the weather's pretty terrible. Dude, back up. Guy. Yeah, so there's tornado warnings. Yeah, did you know that? There were tornado sirens as I was pumping gas. I know, I'm just as scared as you are.